Hey everyone, and welcome back to the third episode of my Let's Play on Murders of the Yangtze River. I believe last time where we left off was... we had just finished the Lady in the Wardrobe case and are continuing our journey through... honestly, I don't think it's even mentioned where we left off. So I'm gonna actually, because I remember last time we kind of ran into the confined room mystery a bit, because I didn't know a good stopping point. So we're gonna start from the autosave data and go from there. And I believe I hit cancel. I believe that yes, the third case should be a flashback one. Shipmaster, with this flywheel, we can continue our journey. Afu, you are just like your father, relentless in experiments, neglecting anything else. Oh? Has he also burned a generator while experimenting? Haha, the things he's burned are much bigger than generators. When there's time later, I'll tell you more. For now, let's just replace the flywheel. Okay. It's been truly a long day, hasn't it? Indeed, 2 consecutive murder cases in a single day. Shen, you've had a busy day too. Get some rest now. No rush. I need to make some case records. You haven't slept all night either. Why not take a break? Blacksmith Ta helped me make a spring. I want to install it in my invention. What new invention do you have now? It's a secret. Once I finish it, you'll find out. Don't burn the generator again. Don't worry, I'll pay attention to the voltage this time. 2 days later. Shen, the captain has steered the ship towards Yangtze. Sure, let's visit the Golden Words publishing house. Hopefully we'll discover something there. Shen, how about telling me more about that case? I can help you. Certainly. I was planning to go through the case again from the beginning. Shen, are the details of the crime in Lope's novel really identical to this case? Indeed. It all started 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I was studying law in Boston. In August of the same year, I received a message from Joseph, a good friend of my brother, informing me that my brother had died mysteriously in his apartment in London. Determined to uncover the truth, I decided to travel to London. The greenhouse above. No, the greenhouse ahead is where my brother met his fate. I have no idea where I got above. This is the place.
Hello, may I ask if this is Officer Jones?
Oh wow, okay, so they do have English casting. I'm not gonna read out that, I think.
Ye are?
I am John Shen, brother of Brian Shen.
My close friend Brian Shen's younger brother, John Shen, is about to arrive in London. Please guide him to inspect Brian's death scene and facilitate his access to the case file. Joseph Iscariot Bell. Since it's Joseph's request, I'll surely coordinate with you. I'm Cody Jones, investigating your brother's case. Just call me Jones.
Thank you for your help.
Speaking of which, your brother's suicide scene looks rather eerie.
Oh, so they just straight out cut some of that. Okay.
Young one, you sure you want to step in?
I'm sure.
All right, after checking the scene, come away to the office. We'll sort out some paperwork. Say, we can wrap up the case then.
You guys again? How many times you come without invite? Is police station too free? Or whole London only has case in my place?
It's funny.
Mrs. Cheng, sorry for not giving you a heads up today.
Rather important person, huh? Move aside.
像像像，两兄弟长得真像。弟弟比哥哥还要俊俏些。
Young brother is even more handsome than the elder brother. Auntie Chen, in the letters my brother sent me before, he often mentioned your care for him.
你哥是
A
个
good
好
man,
男
your
儿
brother, ambitious and talented. Bad luck such things happened.
没想
Mrs. Cheng, can we
Take off shoes first. Don't dirty my carpet. Keep windows shut. Bad energy if open. Every time you come, my house a mess. My medicinal stove. Knock it over. See what happens.
Nay bother, dinna fash yourself. We didn't mean to intrude over much. Theoretically speaking, this should be,
Okay, I don't really like how they translated the accent. Like, it could have been fine to just have the text be like the normal spelling, because this is a lot harder for me to process. At least it's in English. At least she's speaking in English so I can understand it. But like the visual representation of the accent here is kind of difficult.
Last trip? That's not what the signs say. You foreigners, you will have more visits. All right. Stick close to your esteemed guest.
esteemed guest?
Without him, you break my vase today. Compensate me. It's cloisonné. Expensive.
Vase?
See, I told you.
这屋是他的工作室，命案就发生在这里。
This room is a studio. The murder happened right here.
他经常
He often locks himself inside, researching. I don't understand what he is researching either.
有劳郑阿姨了。
Thank you, Auntie Chen, for your help.
小伙子，
Young man, take your time to look around. You.
Walk
Oh, wait.
careful. Don't break my things again.
I really hope this is the last time I'm stepping in here.
Officer Jones, could you please tell me about the situation at the time?
Of course. That afternoon at 2:05, we got a telegraph saying there's been a murder in this room. We went upstairs to check, found the door locked from the inside. Had to break the lock open. Once inside, we saw the victim lying in a rather eerie pose on the chair. The dagger plunged into... His expression was awfully strange. A lot of pain. But half his face seems to be...
What kind of dagger is it? Is there anything special about it?
Nothing remarkable in appearance. Light in weight, but razor sharp.
What is the current direction of the police investigation? Have you identified any suspects yet?
I thought Joseph had already filled you in on this. Well, Mr. Shen, based on the evidence gathered so far, the police have come to the conclusion your brother took his own life.
Suicide? Impossible. My brother would never kill himself.
The room was sealed off at the time of the incident. All door and windows were locked from inside. The only key was in your brother's own hand.
I think it's picking up the audio. I'll turn it down a bit, sorry.
Not just that, but the weapon only had his own fingerprints on it as... Again, it's hard to accept. My condolences.
Alright, let's start the investigation. Officer Jones, was my brother sitting in this chair at the time of death? Strictly speaking, he was not sitting in the chair, but leaning on it in a very peculiar posture. His head and lower limbs were bent downward while his body arches upward like a bow. How could this be? We've looked into... Oh god, I hate it. We've looked into all sorts, but there's no definitive answer. No... Ruling out that he got a massive fright or pain reaction. Not ruling out that he got a massive fright or pain reaction at the very moment of his passing. God, that was hard to read. Brian, Mr. Shen, you alright, pal? You look as if you've just come back from the depths of hell. Can I take a closer look around here? Please go ahead. Joy. Officer Jones, if my brother's body was contorted when he was killed, how was he leaning on the chair? Let me do a wee sketch for you. Here's how he and the chair were set up at the moment. The victim's body and the chair found in a fine equilibrium, a delicate balance. I'm not sure if that was a coincidence. Drops of blood on the floor as well as on the edges of the chair, which have already colligated. There are no bloodstains in the room except for near the chair. Officer, how were the bloodstains distributed on my brother's clothes at the time? There was a wee bit of bloodstains on the clothing near the dagger, but aside from that, there was no clear flow direction, not to the left, right, up, nor down. An asbestos mesh with burn marks on it. The corner of the asbestos mesh is asbestos mesh is tied with wire, and the middle part has been replaced with wax? It might have been used for experience, as asbestos mesh is a common tool in labs. The mesh is charred black with a thin iron wire tied to it at each corner. The central asbestos has been replaced. An unburned scrap of paper, seemingly made of oiled paper. It seems that there was some writing on it, but it is impossible to recognize it. Is this the shape of a key? We took it as evidence in our investigation. This is the sole key to the room, and we discovered it gripped in Brian's left hand. There were only your brother's fingertips on the key. Or fingerprints. There were many scattered paper ashes around the chair. No, just around the chair. Not just around the chair, but there were quite a few paper ashes on your brother's body. I heard in the East you burn paper during ancestral worship ceremonies. Do you reckon this has any connection to your brother's passing? Ancestral worship ceremonies? Indeed, Miss Cheng mentioned that August 15th, according to your calendar, is a special holiday. That day was the Ghost Festival, and also the anniversary of my father's death. Oh, well, that sounds lovely. So you're suggesting that So you're suggesting on that day your brother was performing ancestral worship for your father? It's not possible. Okay, so I'm guessing like just not good relationship with their father. Our relationship with our father was not good, and we have never done such a thing before. What else am I missing? Brian, what exactly happened? I won't let you die like this without knowing the truth. I will definitely find the murderer and bring them to justice. The white circle represents the position and posture of my brother when he was killed. I can't let him die like this without knowing the truth. Okay, well... Chair itself. When my brother's body was found, it was contorted. His body in the chair achieved a delicate balance. Okay, what am I missing? We got the mesh, key, blood, chair again. Key. There has to be something that I'm missing here. Deep claw marks on the chair legs with slight traces of blood on them. Brian, what exactly did you experience? Okay, that was it. Looks like it's skylight. A beam of light shines through the skylight directly onto the chair where the murder occurred. What's this? The skylight window frame shows scorch marks, and the marks appear to be fresh. Oh, indeed, those are scorch marks. Even though it's unclear what caused them, this is unrelated to the case. How can you tell? The skylight is very high, and without a ladder, there's no way one can reach it. Mrs. Cheng's house doesn't have that. Besides, we inspected the skylight, and it's locked from the inside of the house. Thick dust on the glass, no signs of being touched or tampered with. Say, it's highly probable that those scorch marks were made before the incident. God, I hate this so much, I can't read it. This is your brother's studio, and the marks on the window are likely caused by experiments. Several books on the desk, including Principles of Chemistry and the Interpretation of Dreams. Seems like these are all books that Brian often read. Each book's spine has some ink stains. Their arrangement seems to have a certain pattern. Officer Jones, may I organize these books? Aye, the police investigation is done and they're... What? Okay, the police investigation is done and they're now your property. Okay, Jesus Christ. I hate this. Okay. Oh wait, this one goes up. Okay. There we go, easy. Indeed, the ink stains on this book spread diagonally. These ink stains indeed appear to be flicked from a fountain pen. There was a break in the middle of the line stain, as if one book is moot. Clearly another book in the middle has been taken. Could you please tell me if the police took a book with ink stains on its spine from the scene? No. Could it be that the killer took the book? Seems difficult to confirm if the book was missing then or if it had been gone for a while. Mr. Shen, you need to trust the police. Don't you assume there's a killer on your... Don't assume that there's a killer on your own. Oh, I hate this character. I can't read what he's saying. 7 candles are arranged on the ground in the shape of the Big Dipper. Each candle securely fixed on the floor with wax by someone. It looks like some kind of mysterious Eastern ritual. The Big Dipper. Flashback. Chen Ping, can you still find the Big Dipper? Right there. And look in the direction of the spoon's handle. You can find the North Star. The North Star is the only star that remains fixed at the North Celestial Pole. Therefore, travelers use it as a guide for direction when they are away from home. Okay, so I'm guessing that the candles set in the position of the Big Dipper means that wherever the handle of the candles are pointing is a clue to something about this case. Find the North Star anywhere, it guides you back home from afar. Since the candles are arranged in the shape of the Big Dipper, the position of Polaris is near the desk. Is there anything special about the desk? I didn't find anything special on the desk either. If I had to say, there are some marks on the candles instead. Tell me quickly. You see the side of this candle? There's a shallow scratch. The one next to it also has one. Interestingly, these 2 scratches are on the same horizontal plane. 7 candles arranged on the floor in the shape of a Big Dipper. 2 of them have shallow scratches on their sides. Indeed, they are quite suspicious. Could they be traces left by the murderer? The possibility of this being a case of homicide is very, very low. Currently, no evidence links the candles to the murder case. I hate police so much, they're so stupid. Is this photo of my brother and his friends? They're all your brother's classmates. I heard Joseph took the photo. The one in the middle is Stone Wu. He knew your brother from before coming to the UK. Seems I have met with him when I was a child. The one on the right is Toby Chen. He's your brother's classmate at the University of London. Okay, let's see what else we have. Phonograph. When we entered the scene, the phonograph was still playing, but it stopped after a short while. Did it stop because the wax cylinder ran out? It probably had been about 15 minutes of playing. I have personally verified this matter. There's a cafe downstairs in this building, just a floor below. Staff reported continuous opera music from this room, 1:40 to 2:30 p.m. that day. Ominous. Did they hear any other sounds? No. Honestly, the opera ooh. While the police arrived on scene, the phonograph was playing the Peking Opera 7-Star Lamp. Interesting. Honestly, this reminds me, like if opera was playing during the murder, this really much reminds me of in the Batman with the Riddler and Ave Maria. Mr. Shen, interested in listening to the phonograph content? I hope I don't get copyright for this. This is the Peking Opera. The content sounds somewhat familiar. The phonograph is playing Peking Opera 7-Star Lamp. 7-Star Lamp? What is it about? It's about Zhou Ling, who failed to borrow 10 years of lifespan from heaven 1,790 years ago. God, I can't read. And I missed what that guy said. 46 minutes long to the story of Kong Ming begging for longevity. Okay. A lab bench that's been filled with bottles and containers. Ooh. Crime scene investigation. It's just a dismantled kerosene lamp on the table. Several long cotton threads soaked in the kerosene bottle. A small brush inside. I mean, okay, I guess. Various chemicals and reagents placed on the lab bench. Among them, there are aspirin, procaine, and trichloromethane. Test tubes contain powdered herbal medicines such as flat. I'm not even going to try to read those. Scientific names of medicine. There we go. Various chemicals. Okay, more. Okay. This bottle contains strychnine. Whatever. Officer Jones, did you know that there's any did you know that there is strychnine? I think it's strychnine. Strychnine in my brother's room. Oh, Denif, what the fuck does that even? What is he trying to say? We certainly tried to look into this angle. Your brother's autopsy and toxicology tests were done by Joseph, a forensic expert. Even though the signs on the body looked like strychnine poisoning, the test came out negative. What about other toxins? Of course. All of them came back negative. Our capabilities are limited and some new drugs may not be detected. What is the current police speculation about the cause of my brother's body contortion? Just a moment, let me check my notebook. It has Joseph's theory. Oh, found it. We found a recently healed wound on the victim's foot. If there is rust contamination on the wound, or if he was exposed to germs during experiments, then there's a possibility of tetanus infection. If he got a fright or felt intense pain, it might have caused back spasms. Or if the stimulation causing back nerve paralysis, it could lead to body contortions. In summary, Joseph thinks that there are many possible causes for the body contortion. As for the toxicology test reports, they were all negative. Boy. A stack of oil paper on the table. Each sheet is large and thin. Okay. Let's check the window. The windows can only be opened from the inside. Below is the busy Plymouth Street with fashion stores, jewelry shops, and furniture stores. Not far away are the iconic Palace of Westminster and the Royal Opera House. Through the window, the three-storied Savoy restaurant across seems to be very busy. What was originally inside this white circle? A roll of Morse code paper strip which we took as evidence. So you found it on the ground. Yes, that's right. I suspect it fell from the Morse code telegraph machine. Does it have any content on it? Yes. It's all telegrams from Mr. Bell, Joseph's father. We've checked the contents discussing the development of a certain drug. Nothing suspicious. Oh boy. On the top shelf there are certificates of medals that my brother has received. In the middle there are some pharmaceutical theory books and laboratory equipment. On the bottom shelf there are several wax cylinder records, including Autumn in the Han Palace. I think that's stool. There's a small stool placed between the desk and the candle arrangement. The stool is very small, with a height of less than 20 centimeters. This is the telegraph machine on the table, and there are traces of being used that day. The Morse code paper reel we found should be fitted into the hexagonal area on its top. Other than that, no No other abnormalities were found on the machine. Is there anything? Examine door. There's a wooden door with a round lock. The lock is already damaged. When we got here, the doorknob was locked from the inside, so we had to force the door open. Don't think there's anything else. Let's see. Officer Jones, can I ask you a few more questions? As long as it helps solve the case swiftly. Officer Jones, you mentioned earlier that someone filed a report. May I ask who the reporter is? It came from an anonymous telegram. Well, that's not suspicious at all. It's probably the murderer. Only one sentence. A homicide occurred at 79th Prilly Street. It does sound somewhat illogical. Since this room is locked and it's a suicide, how could anyone know a homicide occurred here? See, exactly. And why do the police still think it's a suicide case if the okay. I could go on a whole rant about incompetence, but I must admit you're a sharp mind, but see, the curtain on this window was not closed at the time. It's likely that someone from the opposite building saw the body through the window. Has anyone in this game read a mystery novel? Have the police questioned the residents of the building opposite? Anything you can think of, we already considered. Just gone to that building to look for eyewitnesses took up. Just going to that building to look for eyewitnesses took up my entire week. It's hard to identify potential witnesses with the busy restaurant on the 3rd floor. Officer Jones, you and Joseph were both at the Kensington Division, right? Joseph was my superior just half a month ago. However, 2 weeks ago he got a transfer order and was set to be moved to Shanghai. Was Joseph in charge of my brother's case before? Yes, that's correct, but now the case is in the hands of the new detective surgeon. The new surgeon is not an easy person to deal with. When we go to the police station later, you'll witness it yourself. I really don't want to spend any more time with this guy. It's so hard to read. Officer Jones, may I ask if the police have identified any suspects yet? Mr. Shen, as I mentioned before, your brother's death was a suicide, so there are no suspects. Oh my god, this infuriates me so much. Why are you so stupid? Even if it is determined to be a suicide, don't we need to rule out the other Even if it is determined to be a suicide, don't we need to rule out the possibility of homicide? Of course. We had looked into all the suspicious individuals. Mrs. Chen, the only person there in the flat that day. Stone Wu, your brother's classmate, had a good relationship with him, but had a big row before. Okay. Toby Chen, your brother's classmate, had a competitive relationship with him. And there's also the sender of the telegram, Mr. Bell, your brother's research project sponsor. We had interrogated all of these individuals. All have alibis for the time of the incident. I completely understand your desire to uncover the truth, but the truth is your brother committed suicide. I have comments, but I'm not going to say them. Auntie Chen, do you want to know about my personal matters, about your brother's matters, or about the case? You'd like to ask how long I have been in London? Exactly. I am from Teochew Canton, and I've been here for 13 years. The fog in London, toxic. You can't see nothing, smell unpleasantly. Lungs corrupted for living here. No one cares about this terrible environment. Auntie Chen, the staircase is indeed. My lungs are still alright. The medicine inside is nothing special. They're all tonic herbs. Astragalus, ginseng, and goji berries. Goji berries, sorry. Do you want to know about my... Okay. Auntie Chen, may I ask? Your brother is polite and knowledgeable, and our 5 elements are a good match. According to the sexagenary cycle, I was born on a Zhengyin day, and your brother was in a Jihai day. Zhengyin belongs to metal, while Jihai belongs to earth, and earth generates metal. The yin and yang are balanced, mutually generating and thriving. If he rents this house from me, both he and I should benefit. Alas, his year predicts misfortune and a short life. Don't move. Your eyes are very bright and lively. Your facial features are well proportioned, sign of long life. Listen to my advice. Don't hold on to gains and losses. Only trap you in inner demons. Okay. Auntie Chen, may I ask, what happened that day? That day I was sitting at the entrance. Brian came back at noon and greeted me. Also, I saw several people following him like ghosts. After your brother came back, they stood opposite side of the street, staring into here. Keep an eye on him. Do you know that my brother... Seems like he also noticed. His left facial muscles is twitching a bit. Expression looks peculiar, very rigid. At that time, it was approximately around 1 o'clock. I watched him go upstairs and lock himself inside. He didn't come out again. Before the police arrived, I stayed at the entrance the whole time, and no one else went in. Auntie Chen, regarding this matter, what do you... I told the police, but they didn't believe me. Even said it was my mistake. The public security here, bad. Agreed. A wooden miscellaneous cabinet. Inside there are various uncommonly used items piled up. Medicine is being brewed on the stove, and the hallway is filled with a strong herbal smell. But this smell is unfamiliar. It doesn't resemble common Chinese herbal medicine. There's a statue of Kuan Yu placed as an offering on the ancestral altar. In front of the statue is a censer. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out, is that the right... In front of the statue is a censer with 3 burning incense sticks inside of it. The bookcase in the bedroom is filled with detective novels. There are also The Murders on the Rue Morgue, The Woman in White, and The Moonstone. A whole collection of Sherlock Holmes series. The Return, a book gifted by Joseph. There's a dedication he left on the title page. Brian, welcome back to the Conan Doyle Book Club. Enjoy The Return, Joseph. I remember Brian's dream to become a detective. This photo. This is probably the only family photo. If it weren't for our father, the family wouldn't have fallen apart. Now, everything you have left. This is... Dad, can a lantern really make wishes come true? Of course it can. The sky lantern is a messenger to the moon for listening to wishes. Really? Does the moon listen to our wishes? Yes. Write wishes on your lantern. Release it into the sky. The moon becomes aware. and I want to become a great traveler. Brother, what is your wish? My wish is to become a detective. Brother, what is a detective? Detectives also go on adventures like travelers do, but I always manage to notice details that others overlook. That sounds impressive, and I want to become a detective traveler. That's great. I believe it will definitely come true. This is so sweet. The sky lantern is flying. Dad, hurry up and take a photo. This was taken before my father. This photo has been with my brother all along. I wonder what their father did to, like, because if he blames his father, then I'm really wondering. It's my brother's diary. The previous pages have been torn off. Only one page remains. This is a dead end. Everything is meaningless. Everything is meaningless, utterly meaningless. After a while,
I have already checked everything. Please take me to the police station to take a look at the case files.
Aye, bro. We're off. At the station, you'll need to sign a few papers for me.
gentlemen, I just received a telegram from Edgar Lee at Hanyang Ironworks and need your help. He is a longtime friend of mine. This morning, an extremely mysterious incident occurred at their ironworks. Hanyang. Hanyang Ironworks? I've been wanting to visit Hanyang Ironworks. Shen, let's take on this commission. It's on our way anyway. Okay, let's leave immediately. Okay, early 20th century Wuhan. Iron and steel, the backbone of industry. In the history of Wu and Yu, there are records of Ganjiang and Mo Yi's secret of steelmaking. The transformation of spirit and matter requires a human sacrifice. I once believed that it was only an ancient legend, yet history chose to repeat itself once more. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, the haunted furnace. I'm gonna play through this, because I still think that one flashback was too short. You two gentlemen must be the detectives Shipmaster Lo recommended. I am Li, the deputy administrator of the Hanyang Ironworks. I am. I am Shen Chengping. This is my assistant, Afu. Please tell me the course of events of this incident, Your Honor. This morning, Foreman Ting accidentally fell into the ladle and caused an explosion. Sounds like an accident. Was something wrong? When Foreman Ting fell into the ladle, two workers witnessed the entire process. They both claimed that Foreman Ting appeared out of thin air at the second floor furnace area. Appeared out of thin air? That's right. No one saw him go up, but in the blink of an eye, he was just standing there. It caused mass panic because rumors of ghosts are beginning to spread among the workers. That is indeed particularly odd. The situation is getting out of control. Any more delay could cause more trouble to arise. I hope you can uncover the truth today, so that we can calm the workers and resume production. Don't worry and leave it to us, Mr. Deputy Administrator. Shen is a professional. Thank you for your troubles. I still have matters to attend to, so please excuse me. Huh?
还没来得及
I didn't get to ask him
这什么留言呀
what the exact rumors were yet.
我们先去事故现
We
场。
should go to the site of the incident first to take a look. Molten steel is flowing out from the outlet. What a grand sight. Auntie, you're here as well. The officials say that something terrible happened here and asked me to come to examine the body. I rushed over here the second I arrived. That makes no sense. Oh wait, okay. I rushed over here the second I arrived. I haven't even had time to eat lunch yet. But Auntie, can you still examine the body after it fell into a furnace? What's there to examine? He's all ashes now. I don't have any godlike ability to tell me to distinguish a corpse from slag. Yeah, even if Auntie was the reincarnation of Shang-Chi, it's impossible. At least you get the point, unlike them. So it seems like you two are overseeing this matter as well? That is correct, Auntie Vu. Do you have any information on this case? The deceased is called Ting Ta Feng. He was 45 years old and the foreman of the factory floor. There are lots of rumors about the cause of his incident, but most of them can't be taken seriously. Auntie, have you heard the rumors too? Come on, tell me. You little rascal, why are you always so interested in chasing shadows? Without an autopsy, it'll be even more difficult to uncover the truth. You're right, Auntie. They fall from the second floor, so you should go there. No need to waste your time here. Why is this area blocked off by ropes? Someone is protecting the scene by using the ropes as a boundary line. Such a careful and professional arrangement must have been the work of Auntie Vu. Stop licking my boots. It was already like this when I got here. Huh? Who could have it been? This is ladle number 2, the ladle that the foreman fell into. The ladles are 2 meters tall and can hold up to 30 tons of molten steel at a time. Shen, we've reached the site of the incident. When we go up from here, we'll reach. Hopefully all the crucial evidence will still be there. Afu, what is the matter? Look, there are scorch marks all over the stairs. The explosion was caused by the incident. Even the stairs are affected. The splash range of the explosion must have been quite wide. This means that no one could approach these stairs for quite a while, even after the explosion. Afu, is this the lever used to open the molten steel outlet? That's right. This is a very thoughtful design. How is that so? Look, this lever is really long. You have to stand here to open the outlet shutter. Is it designed in this way to prevent the workers from getting burned? That's right. The molten steel in the furnace can reach a temperature of a staggering 1600 degrees Celsius. Once the shutter is open, the temperature close by rises rapidly. It's much safer to open the furnace from such a distance. Oh. This is where Foreman Ting's falling incident took place. You're able to see the workers on the opposite middle casting area from here. You can also see the ladle directly below. It's ginormous, like a well. When the incident happened, the well was filled with red-hot molten steel. It sure looks like the entrance to hell. No, this is the entrance leading to the truth. Shen, let's begin investigating. Shen, there is some grayish white powder There's some grayish white powder underneath the railing. Sniff, 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 sniff. Upon closer examination, these are small particles that have a lingering pungent smell. Afu, do you know what this is? I can't think of anything right now, but this must be a residue of something that was burnt. Although there are scorch marks on the molten steel outlet shutter, it is still intact. Seems like a furnace explosion accident didn't occur at the time. There are scorch marks all over the railings. Tings falling caused an explosion. Afu, although quite a few people have mentioned the sound of an explosion on site, could it be possible that the explosion occurred first, then Ting fell into the molten steel after? The human body contains a lot of water. When water meets molten steel, it will vaporize and its volume will expand 1,000 times. So if a person were to fall into the molten steel, it's bound to cause an explosion. Good to know. Then if the explosion occurred first and Ting fell after, there would have been 2 explosions. However, the workers only saw 1 explosion. It must have been caused by Ting's fall. 100% correct. This is the ladle that Foreman Ting fell into. It is now empty. Huh? Where did the molten steel go? Perhaps the workers may know something about this. Shen, this is the molten steel basin. Once the shutter is open, molten steel of 1600 degrees Celsius flows through here into the ladle. When that happens, the temperature close by will be extremely hot. Okay. Went through that already. A section of the railing next to the molten steel outlet is missing. You're right. Judging from the structure, there should be a movable crossbar here. This design makes it more convenient to clean the molten steel outlet. But where did the crossbar go? Could it be that it fell into the ladle? This detail is quite suspicious. Afu, are these big crane hooks used to transport the ladle? Yep, these are the crane hooks of the bridge crane. It can lift up to 50 tons of load. Shen, be careful of the molten steel up ahead. I am unable to get any closer due to the heat. Shen, this is the charging area behind the furnaces. The workers working here should probably know something, right? Mister, I am Shen Chengping. I was entrusted to investigate Foreman Ting's falling accident. Could I have a moment of your time? Don't call me mister, I ain't used to that. I'm just a furnace charger. The name's Li Chenhai. You can call me Old Li. Ask all you want. Gives me time to rest a bit. Miss Old Li, what are you mainly responsible for? I am responsible for charging the furnace. I'm also in charge of opening and closing the outlet. Does charging the furnace mean to add fuel to the furnace? Not fuel, but bulk materials. Okay, so we have blast furnace, molten iron, metal mixer. Cool. If you want the steel to be of high purity, you need to add bulk material in every now and then. Are there any other workers on the second floor platform? There are a few helpers, but last night was just a trial production. I didn't ask them to come. It takes 4 hours to purify steel in a furnace, so it's enough for me to handle alone. You don't look so well, Old Li. Have you rested? Haven't you rested? I just pulled an all-nighter and I was going to rest today, but then the incident happened. Those punks don't have the guts to work, so they're just grabbing onto me and draining me dry. Once Shen gets to the bottom of this, you'll be able to take a break. Take a break? That's just like looking forward to seeing the moon on New Year's Eve. Don't count on it. What kind of person was Foreman Ting? He was a stubborn, one-track-minded guy who's not so popular. He's so obsessed with steel technology that he'd even forget to pay our wages. Ever since he started worshipping the gods, he became even less human. He even provoked... Provoked what? Never mind. There's no point in talking about this since he's already dead. Where were you working here when the incident occurred? Mm-hmm. I've been busy working here since last night. After pulling an all-nighter, the molten steel in furnace number 1 was finally ready. Once the ladle was filled, I checked the quality of the molten steel and closed outlet number 1. After that, I came back, started the auto loader, and started preparing for the next batch. I was shoveling materials into furnace 1 and suddenly heard a boom. I saw furnace 2 emitting smoke. The molten steel splashed everywhere and the railings on fire. I thought it was a furnace explosion, but it wasn't. Someone opened the outlet in advance. How could you be sure that someone else had opened it? The lever was in the buckle, so someone must have done it. Is it possible you opened it yourself but then forgot about it? No way, I couldn't have opened up furnace number 2 after I just finished working on furnace number 1. After I finish working on furnace 1, it takes 1 hour to begin working on furnace 2. Is this why you think Foreman Ting pulled the lever himself? I don't know, but it could only have been him, right? Throughout this process, did you see Foreman Ting? Nope, I didn't see him at all. Actually, I only knew what happened after I heard Old Chow and the others talking about the incident. Wasn't Old Chow one of the workers who witnessed the incident? Yeah, I heard him say that Ting appeared next to the molten steel outlet out of thin air. Everyone was guessing it was the 5 ghosts teleportation magic. All in all, it's strange business, I tell ya. I closed the shutter of furnace 1 and returned to the charging area. That's when I heard a boom. I didn't know Foreman Ting fell into the ladle till it happened. I heard he appeared out of thin air. It was probably ghosts that transported him. Okay, we already... Oh, about worshipping. Oh, Lee, please tell us more about the Foreman worshipping gods. We need to have a comprehensive understanding of him. You also think his death is related to that statue? Statue? What statue? He must have been possessed to provoke that sort of thing. They all say that it's easy to invite a god but hard to send one away. If you neglect them, you could be possessed by an evil spirit, or worse, you may get killed. Old Lee, you still haven't told us what Foreman Ting was worshipping, though? No, I just can't. It's unspeakable. I advise you both to stay away from the shrine in the office. Interesting. Why is this door locked? That door is for the transportation of minerals, and an elevator is on the other side. This door is usually locked and only opens when we're transporting minerals, not materials. When was the last time minerals were transported up here? Let me think. It would have been 2 days ago. I finally get to see an autoloader with my own eyes. So this is what the structure of a crown block is like. If we go further, will we be able to go around the left side of furnace number 1? Molten steel is coming out from there and it's scalding hot. We better not go over there. Is this fuel that is piled up here? This is bulk material, mostly lime and fluorite and the sort. So you need lime to make steel. Yep, bulk materials are used to separate impurities from the molten steel. Huh? How come there's a big sheet of tarpaulin here? So they keep steel scraps prepared for smelting piled underneath here. It's well protected. Can steel scrap be used as raw material? These steel scraps are already quite rusty. That's the advantage of the open hearth process. Steel scraps can be used as raw materials. Okay, let's head back down because I think we finished this. Nope. Maybe. Oh, okay. It just circles back around. After something like this, our wages are being paid early. Supervisor Ho. How about... Woo, keep your mouth shut. Just take the money and go. I don't think I've seen this young man before. We're not here to get paid. We're here to investigate the case. Ho Hishu Han. I'm just gonna call him Ho. This is Mr. Shen and his assistant Afu. They are here to investigate the matter of Foreman Ting's falling incident. I see. It's a pleasure to meet you. I almost forgot this important matter. Ho, please make sure to please make a deposit for Mr. Shen. Your Honor, I cannot accept this for nothing. Mr. Shen, I will reward you properly after you find out what exactly happened. Well, you need not refuse, Mr. Shen. The sooner everything is clear, the less damage Ironworks will have to sustain. Shen, it seems if we don't accept the money, Mr. Deputy Administrator can't be at ease. All right. The roar of these machines is deafening. Shen, this is the sound of the industry's heartbeat. Why did Mr. Lee make us cast these ingots? Shh, keep your mouth shut. Someone's coming. Are these ingots made from the furnace that Foreman Ting fell into? That's right. You gentlemen should stay away from this kind of unlucky thing. It'll be difficult to deal with later on if the molten steel cools down inside the ladle. Even so, we can't use these. The blood and bones of Foreman Ting are in here. Just thinking about it gives me the creeps. The human body is mainly composed of water and carbon. Its density is less than molten steel. His body wouldn't sink into the molten steel, but would float on the surface and flow out into the tank. So in essence, these are just ordinary steel ingots. Then, do you think a soul could be in these ingots? We'll keep your mouth shut. It's time to get back to work. But Master, I'm afraid the shrine will unleash its powers again. Please wait. Wu just said again, which means the shrine in the office has unleashed its powers before? What shrine? You must be deaf and heard me wrong. Shen and I both heard you. You definitely said it just now. Misters, that shrine, it's taboo. We are entrusted by Mr. Deputy Administrator to investigate the case of the falling incident. If you do not cooperate, you might be convicted of obstruction of justice. Please don't be angry, mister. We'll talk. About a month ago, Ah Wu and Foreman Ting had a little argument. Ah Wu, young and candid, kicked the shrine. The statue fell. He said some words of disrespect. Then the shrine unleashed its powers? Well, yeah. There was smoke coming out of the shrine, and there was a gunpowder smell in the air. My head started throbbing, and I couldn't breathe, but I wanted to cough, so I almost fainted. Then what happened? Ting said that Ah Wu had offended the god of fire, then he kicked everyone out of the room. That very night, Ah Wu got sick and lost his voice. I had nightmares. Whenever I closed my eyes, I saw the statue staring at me. If the foreman hadn't begged the gods for forgiveness on Ah Wu's behalf eventually, I'm afraid he wouldn't even be able to speak now. Could you... Mister, please forgive us, but we really can't say any more. Ah Wu, we should go back to work. Interesting. The door is locked off limits to loiters. Mr. Patrolman, why is the door locked? What does that have to do with you? Sir, we are entrusted by Deputy Administrator Lee to investigate the Foreman Ting case. Oh, so it's Mr. Detective. Then of course I'd have to help you out. However, this room is impure. Impure? Everyone knows deep down how Foreman Ting died. Beware of the shrine in that room. We're not scared. Let us have a look. Let us in to have a look. Thank you for your trolls, sir. Mr. Patrolman, why haven't you opened the doors yet? It really stresses me out having to help you open these doors. We need to complete investigations today, so we're short on time. Oh my, thinking about opening this door is making my head ache. Could I ask for your help? How can we help? I just heard a crisp, pleasant sound ringing out from you two. Could you lend me a hand to refresh my memory? Oh God, of course, bribery. Afu handed over to him. The sound is so enlightening to me. Shen, although this is just an ordinary statue, after hearing all those rumors, looking at it gives me the chills. It's almost as if Grandpa Ganjiang and Grandma Moyi are watching me. Who allowed you to just come in here? Who just said that? Who do you think? Is that Grandma Moyi? Young lady, please stop playing tricks. Who's playing tricks? If you weren't trying to tease people, why are the lights off? I just finished investigating. I was about to leave. You were the ones who came in unexpectedly. What's wrong? Were you scared, kiddo? No, I wasn't. Oh, really? Then who did you just call Grandma? Shen, let's begin investigating. Investigate? Investigate what? The following incident this morning? Yep, Deputy Administrator Lee invited us here specially. What? He promised he'd give me exclusive coverage. Which newspaper do you work for? Miss, this is a misunderstanding. I'm Shen Chengping, a detective. This is my assistant, Afu. Oh, so you're detectives. I'm Wen Ko-sin, a journalist from the Shanghai News. However, I don't think there's any chance of Mr. Detective to show off in this case anymore. What do you mean? I'm just about to uncover the truth. Even the headline for tomorrow's paper is drawn up. Exclusive coverage, the whole story of the falling incident and the Hanyang Ironworks. In that case, would you be willing to share the clues that you possess, Miss Wen? It's fine if you want information, but you have to offer something useful to me in return. I'm an expert in science and Shen is skilled in deduction. Is that enough? Is this enough? Physics is useful. It'll supply some theoretical knowledge for my articles. You can start asking me questions now. Miss Wen, why are you here at the Ironworks? The Ironworks had just won orders from the Yangtze Railway and the Canton Hankow Railway. However, its products were said to have quality problems. It's at the center of a storm. My journalist intuition tells me that there is an opening for a story here. Former glory gone, Hanyang Ironworks endures hardship. A new report like this. The title alone already sounds interesting. Yet I was halfway done with my draft when this happened. So now you're planning to write about Foreman Ting's falling incident? I'm sorry for what happened, but this is definitely a better story. I mean, she's not wrong. What were you doing at the time of the incident, Miss Wen? I was originally planning to take some photos of the factory floor this morning. When I got to the factory floor, I ran into Mr. Lee. He wanted to show me the new metal mixer. It wasn't long after we left the factory floor that we heard an explosion and we hurried back. Miss Wen, did you arrange the rope barrier at the site of the incident? That's right. If the site is damaged in any way, the news report might be inaccurate. This measure is immensely helpful for the investigation. Well, of course, I'm a senior reporter. Miss Wen, what's the truth that you discovered? You want me to just give you the answers? You'll know soon enough. It's getting late. I still need to go to the metal casting platform to get my camera. Excuse me. Don't forget our promise. Shen, let's start investigating the site as well. We can't lose to Miss Wen. It's not a competition. It is only about the truth, not about winning or losing. I still don't like seeing her so pleased with herself. The shrine is dedicated to the statue of Ganjiang and Moye. The shrine is made of rosewood. It also holds an incense burner and 2 candlesticks. A copper incense burner with 3 sticks of incense placed vertically. The desk is clean, but the inkstone is covered with dust. It hasn't been used in a long time. Blueprints of the imported furnace are under the paperweight. It also documents in foreign language. These papers are covered in handwritten notes. It seems like Foreman Ting put in a lot of work. Could a craftsman who studies technology and reads foreign documents be superstitious? That's hard to say. My idol, Mr. Newton, was a devout follower of theology in his old age. We should record the condition of the desk first. Code of practice. Rule number 1. Leaving without permission during work hours is prohibited. Rule number 2. Name badges must be hung on the board during work hours. Rule number 3. All of the materials used in production shall be managed by the foreman. Rule number 4. Those who are absent from work will be fined 7 days in wages. If you forgot to hang your name badge, it would count as skipping work. That's so strict. Shen, there's a Western wall clock here. The engraving says that this was a gift from the Wuhan Chamber of Commerce for water transport. Here's a board made of copper with several rows of hooks on it. Looks like workers need to hang their name badges on the board when they're on duty. Shen, this is a floor plan for the factory floor. The map looks quite new. It was probably put up not long ago. I A working drawing of the open hearth furnace is pasted right beside it. Shen, the dock is right outside these doors. We can go out. We can go out after we finish investigating this case. Is there anything else I'm missing then? I think we got. If you have anything to ask me, I will gladly tell you everything I know. What are your duties, Mr. Ho? I am the supervisor of funds. All things related to money here fall under my responsibility, such as bookkeeping, managing bills, as well as the purchasing of goods and materials. And paying wages? You're a smart cookie, young boy, but I am not the one who's in charge of paying the wages. Usually, the workers' wages are paid for by the foreman directly, but that's why I'm doing it. I just heard from the workers that the wages for this month are being paid earlier than usual. Indeed, Mr. Lee has instructed me to do so, hoping that this will calm everyone down. You two probably don't know that the Siemens Martin furnace in this incident was very expensive. After the incident, the people on the factory floor were terrified, causing production to stagnate. For each day the furnace is not in operation, thousands of silver coins will be lost. No wonder Mr. Deputy Administrator seems so anxious. How is your relationship with Foreman Ting, Mr. Ho? My daily work intersected with Foreman Ting's, so I guess we were quite familiar. What kind of person was Foreman Ting? He treated people a bit harshly, so he is not very popular among the workers. However, I know that he was just too obsessed with studying metallurgy. Obsessed with what he loved? I totally get him. I heard that he had a habit of worshipping a statue. Do you know when it started, Mr. Ho? If you're asking about that statue, it's a long story. The quality of our steel products was not stable, so we didn't have a steady flow of funds. Mr. Shen imported a Germany's Siemens Martin furnace and ordered Mr. Lee to improve quality. We thought the problem would be solved, but our steel rails still had quality defects. Mr. Lee placed the burden onto Foreman Ting. Ting made a pledge, promising he would get the job done. So that's where Foreman Ting began worshipping the gods? That statue was originally acquired by Mr. Lee. It was meant to be a symbol of luck. Who would have thought that Foreman Ting would become obsessed with worshipping the gods? He often closed himself off inside the office all day long. He became unusually thin and pale with a withered face, and he kept on mumbling strange things. What did he say? I don't quite remember. Something about Chinese teachings and Western teachings. Chinese traditional values for foundation and Western ideology for practical use? That's it. He said to make steel in Hanyang, do as the ancient Hanyangers do. Well, I don't get that at all. I regret that I haven't paid more attention, otherwise none of this would have. Were you present when the incident occurred, Mr. Ho? I was checking inventory and only heard a bang. When I got here, the fire had been put out. I didn't know until after that it was... Mr. Ho, when and where was the last time you saw Foreman Ting? I ran into him yesterday evening right around here. It was almost payday, so I was busy verifying the account book. I went to double check workers' attendance with Foreman Ting. But when I met up with Foreman Ting, he still appeared absent-minded. He didn't respond when I called out to him. He walked into the office and locked himself inside. Everyone knows that he locks the door when he's worshipping the gods. When you saw him yesterday, was there anything else unusual about him? Nothing else, no. Oh, I do remember a small detail though. I don't know if it counts. When I ran into him yesterday, he was wearing a headcloth. I've never seen him wear one before. He doesn't usually wear a headcloth? He thinks it's stuffy, so he rarely wears one. This detail deserves attention. I wrote it down, Shen. Okay, he claims he last saw Foreman Ting yesterday evening near the steam turbines. Foreman Ting was. Shen, Miss Wen mentioned going to the metal casting platform to get her camera back. Could it be that she caught something shocking on camera? I need to go to the metal casting platform to speak with those who witnessed the incident. Shen, we'll reach the metal casting platform if we go up from here. Huh? There's a camera over here. This probably belongs to Miss Wen. It's completely burnt. What a waste of a good camera. Why do people keep coming up here? I just shoot away a woman. Now 2 more guys show up. It's time for us to start casting ingots, so go back down right now. Ah Wu, it's the detectives. You have to speak more politely. Huh? Isn't that Ah Wu and his master? My apologies for disturbing you both. I still have a few more questions to ask. You're too kind, mister. Just call me Old Chow. If there's anything you'd like to know, we'll definitely cooperate with you. What do the 2 of you think of Foreman Ting? We don't have any particular thoughts about the foreman. He got what he deserved. There's nothing more to say about it. Seems like the 2 of you don't like Foreman Ting very much. From his point of view, anything anyone else did was always wrong. He just didn't like us. Ah Wu, there's no fault in the foreman having been strict with his demands. Everyone did as he said, but the last batch of steel rails still got screwed up, didn't it? He was just picking holes. If there was an... Okay. Were you 2 the ones who witnessed the process of Foreman Ting's falling incident this morning? Yes. If I could trouble you 2 to please tell me what you saw and heard at the time. This was the first trial production since the furnace was shut down and renovated. Just when we began casting, Ah Wu suddenly said, the foreman is watching us. There he was, standing next to the outlet. Molten steel was coming out, yet he did not mind the heat. Are you sure that the person you saw at the time was Foreman Ting? I'm sure. He was leaning on the railing at the time. He looked spiritless and he kept staring downwards. You did not notice Foreman Ting before this moment? No, he just appeared there out of the blue. The railings are super hot when molten steel is pouring out, but he didn't care at all. If he wasn't possessed by something, then what? Oh Chow, you said earlier that when you saw Foreman Ting, molten steel was coming out. Did you see Foreman Ting or anyone else open the molten steel outlet shutter? Nope. When we began casting, both molten steel outlets were closed. I remember clearly. I don't know who did it. It wasn't time to open the shutter yet. And then I just watched as the railing that he was leaning on disappeared. Disappeared? Oh, wait. No, it disappeared, just vanished into thin air. I was watching the entire time. I didn't see anything else fall in. Oh, Chow, did you see the railing suddenly disappear? I didn't see it as vividly as Ah Wu did, but the foreman was indeed leaning against the railing, and then he suddenly fell into the ladle. Then it exploded, and fire was everywhere. When I looked again, he was no longer there, and there was no railing either. Did you notice anything unusual about him this morning? He was wearing a headcloth that he usually doesn't wear. Nothing else. Yeah, I saw it too. Gentlemen, we're about to start casting soon. Just go back down already. Don't be in our way. I half expect something to fall out of the ladle. That's not the steel. What are you two doing here? Okay. But why didn't the camera get removed? Like, Mr. Shen, Mr. Lee is waiting for you in the office. He said that progress has been made in the case, so he's asking to meet up with you, Mr. Shen. I have already finished the investigation. It's time to discuss with Mr. Deputy Administrator. Investigations have come to a temporary close. Shall we discuss them with Deputy Administrator Lee? Hopefully we have enough information. Mr. Wen, Miss Wen has already uncovered the whole story of the incident. Let's listen to it together. Miss Wen, please tell us about your findings. Ting's death wasn't caused by ghosts, nor was it an accident. That was actually suicide. Of course a goat, because that's the easy way out. Suicide? That's out of the question. Today is the pivotal moment for the trial production of the Siemens Martin furnace. Ting was engrossed in this affair. There's no way he would kill himself today of all days. It is precisely because of today's importance that he chose to commit suicide. Why is that? All these years, Foreman Ting has been obsessed with studying steelmaking technology. He proposed a method that was said to greatly reduce the cost of production. As a result, the Hanyang Iron Works began to receive large orders for steel rails. However, at this crucial moment, severe quality problems with the steel rails were exposed. Ting shouldn't have carried all the blame. It was mainly due to the high phosphorus content in the coke that was used. To solve this problem, he made a pledge to improve the technique once more. However, each and every trial production ended in failure. In desperation, he had no choice but to turn to superstitions and legends. What happened this morning was actually a planned suicide, or more like a sacrifice. Could it be that I put too much pressure on him? Tragic. Foreman melts body in iron and steel. National industry less than ideal. This will be the next headline for my news report. Miss Wen, you seem absolutely sure that Foreman Ting committed suicide. Do you have any evidence? Well, of course. I found Foreman Ting's suicide note on the office desk. Wait. Hold it right there. Where's the suicide note? How come we never saw it? Such precious news material would obviously need to be protected. How could you hide evidence like that? I was afraid this clue would be lost. I took it for safekeeping. However, could that count as hiding evidence? Yes, you took it from the crime scene. Without permission. Miss Wen, would it be possible to let me take a look at the letter? Sure, there's nothing special about it anyway. For many years, I have given my all to try and make good steel. Nevertheless, all my attempts and methods have ended in failure. Seems I should follow the example of Gong Jiang and Mo Ye. Sacrificing myself to the furnace will surely move the hearts of the gods. The last words of Ting Tianfeng, written in the office of the furnace factory floor. Shen, it really is a suicide note. Your Honor, the handwriting does look like Foreman Ting's. Miss Wen, you didn't damage evidence, did you? Of course not. I kept it exactly the way it was. Under these circumstances, Hiseon Hang, go and draft an announcement. Announce the whole story of this incident and quell the rumors. Hold on. Something is questioned about this letter. This is just an ordinary letter. What's wrong with it? There is a detail in this letter that conflicts with the existing evidence. Miss Wen, I shall review this letter one sentence at a time and question the problematic ones. Then I shall compare the questionable content with the evidence we have already collected. If I am able to find evidence that contradicts the contents of this letter, I shall present it to you. All right. Go on then. For many years, I have given my all to try and make good steel. Nevertheless, all my attempts and methods have ended in failure. It seems that I should follow the example of Oh, yeah. Sacrificing myself to the furnace will surely move the hearts of the gods. The last words of Ting. Does Miss Wen believe that Foreman Ting wrote this suicide note in the office? This letter was written with a calligraphy brush. It was written on the desk of the office. And have you ever paid attention to the inkstone on the office desk? Inkstone? The suicide note is indeed written with a calligraphy brush. It also mentions written in the office at the end. However, the only inkstone in this office is dry and has accumulated a layer of dust. Evidently, it has not been used in a long time. There is an evident contradiction. This letter could not have been written at the office. Ironworks is always dusty, so it's normal for dust to accumulate. Yet there is barely any dust on the desk, not to mention the shrine is completely spotless. It is thus clear that only the inkstone had not been used in a long time. Well, what if Foreman Ting carried a brush and ink around with him? Who in the world would carry an inkstone around? You're being too unreasonable. Is Mr. Detective going to dismiss this possibility? Miss Wen, you are welcome to make such an assumption. However, there's one detail in this letter that contradicts the signature. I don't remember. I don't see any contradiction. You should think again. Okay, well, I can't read the Chinese, so... If the suicide note was written in the office, a certain mark would not be present. What's the mark, though? I'm just gonna... It always says to press the space bar, but it doesn't work. Honestly, I think part of the reason this is like because you have to read the Chinese, but... Oh, never mind. Okay. Mr. Shen, you're saying there's something wrong with the creases? Okay, so it was creases, not the text. Precisely. Ms. Wen said that she had specially kept the letter as it was to present damaging evidence. Therefore, Ms. Wen was not the one who caused these creases, correct? That's right, I didn't make those creases. When you discovered the letter, it was lying flat out on the surface of the office desk, correct? Yeah, what's the problem? There are creases on the letter. Usually a letter is folded so that it can be more convenient to carry. If this letter is truly written by Foreman Ting in the office before he committed suicide, why would he go through the trouble of folding it? Maybe he wrote the letter somewhere else. Flimsy excuse. But the letter clearly states that it was written in the office of the furnace factory floor. That's true. Could it be that the suicide note was forged? What do you think? Of course it was. That is correct. Someone is trying to cover up the truth of Foreman Ting's death. What? What need is there to cover up Foreman Ting's death? The workers clearly saw him jump into the furnace. Could it be possible that the workers who witnessed the incident are hiding something? Ku, go and bring all the workers who were present at the time of the incident for questioning. Mr. Detective, you still haven't completely convinced me about the problem of the suicide note. None of us can accurately predict the state of mind of a person before their death. It's also possible that Ting wrote the letter somewhere else and then left it in the office. Although that is highly unlikely, the possibility does exist. We should not make conclusions based on a single piece of evidence. Let's discuss this later. Now let's put the matter of a suicide note on hold and discuss other doubts first. Fine. Your Honor, Old Chao and Awu are here. Come in. The two of you need to recall the events of this morning once more. Don't omit any details. We spent all morning saying the same things a bunch of times. Awu, answer His Honor's questions properly. Oh. At the time, my master and I were in the middle of casting ingots. I suddenly saw the foreman Ting. He was resting against the railing next to outlet number 2. When Awu informed me of what he saw, I noticed that the shutter behind foreman Ting was open. So the outlet shutter opened at the same time as the appearance of the foreman? I think he probably opened it himself. Seconds after, Ting suddenly dived forward. Right after that, the ladle exploded. There was one contradiction within the statements that is related to this evidence. Okay, at the time, my master and I were in the middle of casting ingots. Suddenly saw the foreman Ting resting against the railing next to outlet number 2. Noticed the outlet shutter behind Ting was open. He likely opened it himself. Seconds after, Ting suddenly dived forward after that the ladle exploded. Throughout this entire process, we didn't see another person on the other side. I think there was something in how from a safe distance, there wouldn't be any way to see it, right? Are you both sure that you did not see a second person on site? I told you so many times already, we really didn't. Great detective, the evidence you just presented doesn't allow another person to be on the scene. Well, Shen is thinking right now. You'll know the answer soon enough. Okay, so that was wrong. Wait a second. Casting ingots. Is this in the morning or in the evening? Let's see if that works. Awu, are you certain that the person you saw was Foreman Ting? That's right, he was wearing a head cloth. It's possible you mistook him for someone else for him. He wore a head cloth on his head, but not his face. Oh, a head cloth on his head, not his face. There's no way I was wrong. Come on now, Awu. Even if the mistress said something strange, you can't act so disrespectfully. Not to worry, that's quite alright. Seems that there's nothing wrong with the statement. I need to reconsider. Okay, let's see. A person cannot be in two places at once doing different things. Right. Wait, there. I think we really were casting ingots at the time. What's wrong with that? Allow me. Okay. Can this work? Oh, right, yeah, okay. Logically, that makes sense. Close. But it was impossible for Formenting to open the outlet shutter by himself. He could not have been the only person on site. Why not? Levers are very long. To pull it, one must stand on the other side of the molten steel basin. However, when they saw Ting, they also found the outlet shutter open. This could not be achieved by one person. It might not have been completely simultaneous. After all, Awu and I weren't staring at the other side of the entire time. Mr. Detective, couldn't Foreman Ting just pull open the shutter and then sprint to the ladle? No, he could not, because this was present on site. Point out the reason why it was impossible to reach the ladle that quickly. The whole thing in the middle, right? After Foreman Ting pulled the lever, he must have stepped over the basin to reach the falling spot. However, once the outlet shutter is opened, the basin will be filled with molten steel at 1600 degrees Celsius. A person could not possibly pass through. To reach the point he died from, Ting had to pass through the charging area behind the furnaces. This could not be achieved in a short amount of time. Perhaps Foreman Ting opened the outlet shutter beforehand, and it was only a coincidence that old Chow and Awu didn't see him do it. That's a lot of coincidences. The outlet shutter was closed the whole time before the incident. I'm not lying. Even if old Chow and Awu possibly missed sighting him, when Ting passed through the refilling area, he was bound to run into the furnace charger old Li. How do we explain the fact that old Li was completely oblivious to Ting's appearance? Or did the 5 ghosts transport him? Did the shrine unleash its powers? Ghosts and gods are not at work here. The will of a person is. One other person must have been present at the scene of Foreman Ting's falling accident. The moment Foreman Ting leaned against the railing, the person pulled open the outlet shutter. Wait a second. With old Chow and Awu watching in front of the furnace and old Li working in the back, if there was really another person present on site, how could they possibly remain undetected? By using this, okay, they would conceal themselves. I'm pretty sure because it's so big, right? If that person wanted to conceal their tracks, all they had to do was utilize the ladle. I got it. Shen is talking about that visual blind spot. This so-called blind spot, does it refer to an area that cannot be seen? Yes. This ladle is 2 meters tall and 1.5 meters in diameter. It should definitely block their vision. But my master and I were standing in different places when we were casting. One of us was always looking at the other side. Oh, Chow, were you and Awu standing? Where were you and Awu standing during the task? What was your distance from the ladle? Usually I stand on the left side of the ladle and Awu stands next to me. We're close to it. I observed the two of you working from the middle casting platform. Both of you have blind spots when you are working, and your blind spots intersect each other. Yep. This is where the suspect hid themselves. But my master and I didn't just stand there. When the ladle moves, we move along with it. Wouldn't we see them once we start walking? The reason why you'd not be able to see the suspects is an absolute blind spot. I believe there is an area on the opposite platform that is the intersection of all blind spots. That is to say, no matter where the ladle stops, provided the position between workers and the ladle is determined, the suspect won't be seen. Where would this absolute blind spot be? It's going to take quite a bit to deduce it, though. Even if such a spot really exists, it couldn't happen to be right near the outlet. How could you explain Foreman Ting's sudden appearance, then? Once a suspect or Foreman Ting leaves this absolute blind spot, they'd be seen, wouldn't they? Shit. I just randomly clicked, Your Honor, there are still a few questions for in this case. I need time. Mr. Shen, I cannot give you more time than I already have. At this moment, Miss Wen's analysis seems to be more reasonable. Sorry for stealing your spotlight, Mr. Detective, but the suicide note and the scene. Enough, Mr. Shen. The whole story is clear now. There's no need to discuss any further. Your Honor, that... Okay. Let's try this again, because I was not paying attention. Suspect moved later. That makes more sense. I just wasn't paying attention to... It's quite simple. By moving alongside the ladle, they could continuously stay in the blind spot. That's... true. As long as they can't see the workers won't be able to see them. Because the path of light is reversible. Interesting. If this was published in a novel or column, I'm sure readers would be interested. However, I'm afraid Mr. Detective forgot that Ting's falling caused an explosion. If there was another person on the platform at the time, how could they survive? Yet there's no other casualties in the falling incident today. How would you explain that? I believe the suspect could have hidden here. Could have... that corner? Yeah, because there'd be no way they'd be over here, so they would have to hide behind. The passageway on the right side of furnace 2 was not affected. They could hide here. Hidden behind the ladle, they were not far from the passageway when the explosion occurred. While Ting's appearance caught the attention of the workers, they hid inside the passageway. Sounds like the suspect not only knows the steelmaking, but also knows people well. But that still doesn't seem right. Ah Wu, what right do you have to interrupt their conversation? Ah Wu, what other problems are you aware of? I clearly saw Ting leaning on the railing. It toppled over because it suddenly disappeared. If the shrine didn't unleash its powers, how could the railing suddenly disappear? Railings won't disappear into thin air, kiddo. Ghosts don't exist in this world either. But I saw it with my own eyes, I swear. I'm also 100% sure that you saw things incorrectly. It's easy for people's memories to get confused when they're nervous or afraid. Also, the fact that if it was really at 1600 degrees Celsius, I unfortunately am a dumb American and don't know the conversion rate between Fahrenheit and Celsius. But based off of the fact that it's extremely hot, the heat will affect the air itself and cause ripples and essentially a mirage. So it's very easy to mistake in what you see based off of that. I didn't see incorrectly. Miss Wen, why are you so sure that Awu was mistaken? When I was taking photos yesterday evening, the railing was already missing. Old Lee, the furnace charger, was the only person on duty last night. He claims that he didn't install any railings. If you don't believe me, look at the photo. Shen, there's really no railing above the ladle. But I saw him leaning against the railing. Stop sticking your neck out, you. Too much talk is always a loss. Mr. Shen, if there wasn't a railing above the ladle, that means that Ting stood there by himself. The workers were also absolutely certain that there wasn't anyone around him. Then how did he fall into the ladle? That's why I said it was suicide. However, combined with Mr. Mr. Detective's deduction, it's possible someone is helping him. The disappearance of the railing and Ting's falling may be connected to... I think because we haven't... Maybe that powder? We don't know what it is though. This is the powder that Afu found near the railings. This powder is actually grayish white particles that have a lingering pungent smell. This is the residue of a burnt substance. We have only found it at the site of the incident. This indeed doesn't seem like something used in steelmaking. I believe that the suspect set up some kind of mechanism on site that caused Ting's falling. I never thought that the story behind a falling incident would be so complicated. The mechanism is quite newsworthy. So what kind of mechanism was it exactly? Well, we still need time to investigate that. I've seen a number of Western machines, strange and intricate things that left me in awe. If the mechanism you speak of can be restored, this whole incident would basically make sense. Ghosts and gods were not at work here, but machinery caused it all. However, there is still one thing I can't understand. The series of plans were quite complicated and required the cooperation of Foreman Ting. Why would Foreman Ting be at the mercy of another? Shen, maybe Foreman Ting was coerced by someone? Maybe someone got a handle on him or the lives of his friends and family and were threatened? If the suspect could coerce Foreman Ting to walk to the railing of his own accord, he would not have had the need to go up to the second floor and personally just told Ting to jump. That makes sense. I'm afraid that Foreman Ting at the time had already come to harm. How is that so? Awu claimed that he saw Foreman Ting leaning against the railings, staring directly downward. The railings were burning hot, but it did not matter to him because he could not feel anymore. His eyes were not looking down, so he was already dead. This also explains why Foreman Ting did not jump down, but instead dived forward. Therefore, I suspect this was a murder. I don't know why that sentence was so hard to read. Murder, then, Your Honor, we need to conduct another round of investigations. Although we have a preliminary deduction of the suspect's MO, there are still many mysteries. Like how the suspect left the scene. As well as the suspect's identity and their motive, we have no clue at all at the moment. Ting is stubborn and has offended many people, but he is a diligent man who shouldn't have suffered such misfortune. At present, the Ironworks can't afford to be delayed any further. Your Honor, the nature of homicide is different. If the villain commits more crimes, the Ironworks will lose even more. If there's no conclusion by tomorrow morning, you may draft an announcement to calm the public opinion. Besides, I believe Mr. Detective will uncover the truth before tomorrow morning. Isn't that right, Great Detective? I will do my best. Then let's act according to Miss Wen's suggestion. Shen, why is Miss Wen on our side all of a sudden? She doesn't seem to mind that she lost to you either. I hear that, kiddo. Who said this was a competition? The news should be more important to Miss Wen. How about this? Falling incident shrouded with mystery. Detective tries to uncover conspiracy. I'm going to pause this here, I think, because yeah, I think that's a good stopping point because this video is already almost 2 hours long and we had the mini investigation about the past. We'll continue part 2 of this chapter next week. Sorry that it was such a struggle in the beginning. It was very hard to read how they decided to go about translating that one character's lines. I'll catch you next week for the second half of this. Thanks for watching if you got this far.